Hi. Hi. Did it. Did it.
All right, that was the whole thing. Okay.
I'm so proud of you. You did it.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I did a good thing by reducing the number of cords that were running from that monstrosity over to my computer.
Yeah.
But in the process of doing so, I put a splitter, a 4-way USB jack. But then it's just one signal coming back to the computer. And when there's only one signal, you can only run one webcam. So what is going on? Okay. Yay, bowl demo day. Hopefully that's good. Might work. All right. Good morning, good morning. You may want to take some notes, but this will be, of course, recorded for all time. So if I make a huge mistake, you can laugh at me repeatedly. But I will say bowls, some of you have already kind of experienced them on the wheel. Our initial reaction to bowls is, wow, this is easy, right? Because you don't have to lift a straight cylinder and you don't have to like control it as much as you might think. But the problem is that with a bowl, of course, you got your rim, right? Think of it, it's a utilitarian thing, right? So you have the rim, and you have, let's call that the inner part of the bowl, right? And if it is nice and smooth, then your spoon or fork or whatever you're using in there is going to travel nicely up. But if the edge or the interior of your bowl looks like that, it's going to be like bump, 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 you know, so you're going to lose all your chicken noodles before they get to your mouth, all right? So that being the case, in my opinion, bowls are much harder than cylinders. Not because of the technical difficulty that a cylinder has, but of the finesse difficulty. Okay, like it's got to be nice and smooth. So to that end, I'm going to talk to you about some techniques on how to get to where to what would be a pretty decent bowl. Okay. So for your clay, you're going to want somewhere about 1.5 pounds. Could be up to 1.75 pounds. That's your typical. That's your typical bowl size. So in the cupboard, the bowls you open up. Could you turn the like a couple of the switches off for the overhead lights? You know where they're at?
Maybe.
Okay, keep walking. Start going to your left. There. Is that good? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so tools you're going to need. It's a little dry. My clay's a little dry. There we go. You're going to need your throwing stick. That guy, right? You're probably going to want your metal rib of death. You may want this wooden rib here. I don't know how many there are, but this one. And of course, you're going to want your water, a sponge, and your chamois. Oh, yeah, your throwing stick. I already said that one, right? All right. And a towel. All right, so we're going to begin by, just like with a cylinder, by centering your piece. Turn my wheel on. Woohoo! Water, push in. All right. I said this clay was a little dry. So I'm just adding some water to it here and coning it up. Add some more water. So this is a technique to help with centering also. But mainly if like this clay has been sitting up here for probably a couple months in the front of the classroom. So it's been opened, it's been used a couple of times. So it's starting to dry out. All right, so I'm going to center this down. There we go. Okay, nice and centered. So just like a cylinder, start out with a center, then we make a hole. And you're not going to go as shallow on this one. We're going to leave a little bit thicker bottom because I'm going to teach you how to trim a foot. Okay, so we don't want these to dry out. We want them to get to leather hard, and that's as dry as we want before we start trimming. Okay, so this is as similar as it gets for a cylinder. Okay, that's it. From here on out is a little bit different in the hand movements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my right hand, I think you can see that here on the side. My left hand is going to go to the center of the clay. I'm not going to push down, but I'm going to push out and up. Okay, I'm going to kind of bring this up into a V. All right, so that looks like this. Put a little water in there. All right, push in with your outer hand, push out with your inner hand, and lift up and out. Okay, a little water, compress your rim. For bowls, it's really important to keep your rim compressed, okay? That's gonna be the strongest part. Okay, now I'm gonna do that same move again. Start at the center, kind of work my hand out in this manner, and as soon as it reaches my outer hand, they start to come up. Okay, so right away with this movement of my hand, all right, we're starting to create that bowl shape. All right, so inner hand pushes out, outer hand feels where the inner hand is and starts to grab and starts to lift up. Okay, compress your rim. Now, on a bowl, we don't want a super thin rim also, because if we did, it'll chip really easy, right? That's the part that, you put your spoon in and the handle hits it, right? It's gonna get beat up a bit. So take your time, don't get this too thin, so compress it down a bit. Remember my compression move, thumb and pointer finger on the end, just holding on the edge, my opposite hand pointer finger just pushing down, creating a little pressure there. All right, so here we go again. Center, my finger, I'm using primarily my middle finger as I'm coming through, okay? And my middle finger starts in the center and then works its way out, okay? It's doing the work. So start in the center, work your way out. I'm thinning as I go, and I'm stretching the pot. Or I guess it would be a bowl, right? It has a name. I'll pull some of there. You can kind of see what my hands have been doing on the inside. It's nice and round. A little more water in there. I'm gonna probably do one more pull here. So compress, my finger is starting in the middle. Again, my middle finger on the left. I'm working my way out. So as a professional potter, these were my Achilles heel. Like, I really struggled to make a bowl, to make one that I felt was good. So this is kind of where we're at. We're there now. We can stop, but we can also take it just one step further and really refine. They make these tools. This is I think it's called a mud tool. but it is a bowl rib. Okay, see how it has this radius on it, which is kind of nice. I think we might have a couple over in the other classroom. This one is junk. That's unfortunate. And the reason I say that is because it is a plastic rib, right? It gets beat up over time, and this one has like a big old gash out of it here. Somebody probably like rolled it on the bat or on the wheel head. So that was like $6 thrown out. Not that that's a lot, but it's enough. So here's the same kind of rib, but we're just made it out of wood, right? So it's going to go in my left hand. Put a little water in just to lubricate. All right, and the way that I like to do this is I start towards the rim and I'm putting light pressure. My outer hand is just guiding. This is just kind of laying here. And then as I push down, I start to add a little bit more pressure. And then I get to the center, and then I work my way back out. And what you're doing is you're basically making the inner part of that pot this as round as this. Okay? Does that make sense? Like I'm just holding it, I'm letting the clay hit, and I'm just guiding the clay back into a spot that I want. So nice and smooth. If you notice, I'm also not using my sponge a whole lot except to just get that initial large amount of water out, okay? Remember what happens with the sponge is that when you use it, it takes off the fine particles of clay and leaves the grog, the gritty stuff that's in the clay, and then the bottom of your bowl will be full of that grit, and the glaze won't cover it always. So you might have this beautiful bowl, but as soon as you put your spoon in, it's like, so it's just uncomfortable, okay, when you're eating. So the final step, or the second to final step here, is to smooth out the rim using your chamois. Okay, and the very last step, oh, here it is, is to undercut, get rid of some of this extra clay. We are going to get rid of it anyway because we're going to trim it off, but why do more work later when we can do less work later? Okay. So there it is. That's the initial bowl, right? Wire it off, and then, oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot a wire. We'd wire it off and then go again. So we can all set here. Try not to breathe on the other way.
I'll be rough going.
Pass out. All right, so this cutoff wire is trash. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that wire right there? So again, just a reminder, whenever wires get like that, just throw them away. Let me know you did it. Because the worst thing in the world, I'm telling you, is when you go to clean off that wire with your hands and you put that little bit right into your finger or thumb or whatever. It sucks for a long time. All right. So I think I told you when we were in college, we didn't use that whole tile system like what we do for you guys. Like that's kind of new. We had to throw on the wheel head, so we didn't even use these bats. through on the wheel head, and then we had to lift all of our pots off, just like I did there. Every one of them, pots or plates. We didn't even use a bat. No, we threw right on the wheel head. That's traditional.
I would break so many pots.
Uh-huh.
I would break so many.
Well, you learn, right? You learn not to.
I still do.
So, yeah, it's interesting. So if you want to try it, I'd encourage you to do so. All you have to do, the trick is have dry hands and dry side of your pot. Okay, so use a rib and like get all the slurry off of it, and then dry your hands off, and then kind of come in. Well, it was kind of funny because we'd have our professor would be like, well, come in like you're going to pick up a baby bird. Oh, and then you go. So that was kind of mean. But basically, yeah, you pick it up like you would pick up a baby bird. Or you can use your fingers like scissors, like I did, and just pick up and go. So I'd encourage you to try that, see what that's like. All right, this is a little bit more. This is probably closer to 2 pounds of clay. I'm going to ask you to make 5 bowls. Okay, 5 bowls on the wheel. We'll see what we have for time. We might make it only 4, but I'm going to ask you to make 5. Any questions as we go? Like, what? What's a bowl? Any certain what?
Height requirements.
Oh, height requirements. Yeah, that's a good. 3 inches high, 6 inches wide. So your tiles that you're throwing on are 6-inch tiles. Okay, so if you make it big enough that the outer edge of the bowl goes to the outer edge of the tile, like as it's coming up, you're fine. That's fine. And then I think you'll naturally get to 3 inches tall. Like it won't be very much of a problem for you. All right. Again, centering the clay, making sure it's nice and even. Make a hole, leaving about 1/2 inch at the bottom. Not much more than that. Don't leave 3/4 inch. It's not going to do you any good. Okay, all of your width and height is going to be lost at the bottom. Okay. I don't remember. Did I talk about this? I know I talked about lifting the side, but did I talk about opening it up last time? Do you recall that? I did. I did open it up, where you don't open it up to you straight, but you open it up at an angle. Did I talk about that? No, I didn't think I did. I thought I skipped right over that stuff. So on a cylinder, you put your fingers in right and you pull towards your body to make a flat bottom. We want to start that bowl shape right away. So push down, tuck your fingers a bit, and then pull up and out. See there? Now I've got that bowl shape already started. All right? I apologize for that. I guess I kind of just skipped right over that last time. I compress my rim back down. I feel like my wheel is going crazy here. Crazy fast. There we go. That might be a little slow. There we go. All right, so again, start in the middle. I'm using my middle finger. Work your way out till you get out to the height of your hand, your outer hand, and then start lift. Keep your body stable. Keep your right elbow on your knee or on your thigh. Don't chicken wing it. Okay? You got to keep yourself very stable. bit of an air bubble here. Maybe I can show it to you. It's kind of. Have you experienced the air bubbles in your clay every now and then, and it feels like a stone, and it kind of pushes every single time? Huh?
Do you not remember?
Let's see, where is it here? Might have got it. Oh, it's right there. So you can see this little, I don't know, from the top view, maybe not. Not really. There's not much of a variation. I can feel it. So when an air bubble will push your hand around, just like if it was a big rock in your clay. But we'll make it through it. Maybe. Okay. So here we go. A little bit more. Pushing out. So you can make your bowl kind of any shape you want. We made some formal ones in the past. We made just like these. These are just utilitarian. They stack really nice inside each other. A bowl like this, I usually call this one like the cereal killer bowl because it's enough cereal where you're kind of full and you're not going to eat it directly out of the box. But might be a good chili bowl. If we knew of anybody who maybe worked at a soup and sandwich shop, Lacey, maybe she could bring soup in and we could eat soup out of our bowl, of our new bowl that we made.
Give me like $40 then.
It'll be $40.
It's actually a bread store there, like,
They what?
it's actually a bread store there.
They have bread there?
It's almost like it's Panera bread.
Oh, it's not Panera soup? Huh.
Yes.
So I'm finishing this off.
Yeah, I don't think I can have this. I don't think I can.
What's that?
How would carbonated water hydrate?
I don't know. That's a good question. Why don't you try it? So I'm going to use this. I'm going to create a little bit more of a formal bowl here. So I've kind of finished everything off to begin with. I'm going to use my throwing stick. Wet the outside just a little bit. I'm going to use my throwing stick. I'm going to support with my right hand on the outside, and my throwing stick is just going to be pushing down until you get a nice sharp rim on the inside with a little bit of a inlet. Okay, the bowl is going to come around like this and then come out. And so that would be like a bisque. Bisque would actually be a little more shallower. Have you ever heard of a bisque, like lobster bisque or conch bisque? Probably some of the best I've had in my life. But this would be more like a formal soup bowl. Then we can put some decoration on it because we always want to decorate our stuff so that we know that it's ours. I think you can see this. Put a little line. So this is Englishware, very much like that. So stop, you just put a few little lines that go around it. Well, you really can't see that, can you? You probably can see it better on the video. So a few little lines that go around it that will trap also and make the glaze act differently on the rim. Okay, once it gets a little drier, we can clean off some of the clay boogers, and now we have a little bit of decoration. Clay boogers, there's my, I don't know if you can see it right there, is my air bubble. So if you get an air bubble that does not pop, it's okay, it's not the end of the world. Just take your needle tool. Don't use one this big though. It's like, good God, you could chip ice with that or something. And you just poke it. All right? Just poke it and the air will come out as it dries, and then it won't blow up in the kiln. All right, so what's my next step? Oh, gotta take this off the bat, wire it off, and then take it off the bat. Again, any more questions or any questions at this point?
In your house, do you have all homemade bowls?
I do, yeah. And I didn't make them all. I do enjoy buying other people's work. But yeah, my cupboard, should show you a picture. I'll take a picture sometime. Like I think we have 2 commercial cups in our house. One because Marie likes elephants, and the handle is the elephant trunk. And the other one is one that has strawberries on it, because her mom, before her mom passed away, she was all about strawberries. So there, see, nice and easy. Just comes right up. Ooh, ooh.
Wow.
So, but yeah, everything, even our cookware, our bakeware, like, I don't know what it is, but you know those cans of biscuits, or your pop, scares the hell out of you every time. Putting one of those in a handmade baker, it's like grandma's, biscuits that she made from scratch. It's amazing. It just is fantastic. So anytime that you can cook with clay ware in the oven, I don't know what it is, but your food just tastes that much better. Any other questions?
You can use clay to bake.
Yeah.